So I believe this is where the last video cut off, and I believe this would be part 3 of lesson 15. I think I stopped kind of in the middle of this. I'm really not sure what they wanted here, but if you have to find the slope from a graph, the best way to do it is to pick 2 good points, and when I say good points, I mean points that are on the line that we can get exact coordinates for. So pick 2 good points, draw your right angle, and then count your rise over run spaces. So on the grid, plot the point 2, 1. So over 2, up 1. Sketch the horizontal line. So horizontal is this way, so the horizontal line, which when you read horizontal line, you should have thought of my friend Mr. Hoy. Hoy's horizontal line, y equals equation, and then we talked about zero slope. Well, here's where it comes into play. Find the slope of the horizontal line. It's 0. If we tried to do rise over run, we have no rise, so that would be 0. Run could be any number, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. But it's much easier if you remember Hoy. The next one asks us to plot the point at 1, 4 and sketch a vertical line. So when you heard vertical line, hopefully you thought of Mr. Bucks. Mr. Bucks says vertical line, undefined slope, x equals equation. So find the slope of the line of the vertical line, undefined. If you tried to use rise over run, you could rise all you want, let's say 5, but you run 0. And if you remember, you can't divide by 0. It's undefined. This one says, on the grid, plot the points 1, 3, so over 1, up 3, over 4, up 1. Sketch the line that passes through these points. So there's my line. Remember, I said pick 2 good points, so these are 2 good points. Draw your right angle. And it doesn't matter if you drew it up here or if you drew it down here. And then find the slope, rise over run. Count your spaces. We rose positive 2, and we ran 1, 2, 3, negative 3. So slope is rise, which is 2, over run, which is negative 3. So that's our slope. This is use the formula. The formula was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this would be x1 comma y1, because that's our first point, and this is x2 comma y2, that's our second point. So y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 2. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 1 minus negative becomes positive, so that becomes 2 over 3. So our slope is 2 over 3. For each table, find the slope, x-intercept, and y-intercept from the table. Well, x-intercept, we know y is going to be 0. Y-intercept, we know x is going to be 0. So we can look up here for y is 0. Here it is. So that's -1. Y-intercept is when x is 0, so that's 5. And now we have to find the slope. So we pick 2 points. Let's pick these two. So this would be x1, y1, and this would be x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 5 over 1. So our slope is 5, or 5 over 1. Alright, so here, again, x-intercept, y-intercept. We have our 0, 1, so there's our y-intercept. But where's y0? Halfway between here, y is 0. So halfway between here would be 0.5 or 1/2. Pick 2 points to do your slope. I'm going to pick these two. So this one would be x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now let's do the math. Negative, leave, change, change. So that becomes -2. And that becomes 1. So our slope is -2. Types of slope. So types of slope. You could have positive, you could have negative, you could have 0, or you could have undefined. And positive would look like this. Negative would be going down. 0 is straight across. And undefined would look like this, vertical. An athlete is training for a bicycle race. The graph below shows the distance in miles that the athlete is from home after X hours. So this is hours, and this is distance in miles. So label the axes to show what the X and Y values are. So distance in miles, and this is the athlete is from home after X hours. So this is distance from home. And this is hours. Alright, state the y-intercept. Interpret the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So that would be 0, 30. So we would say 0 hours he is 30 miles from home. So after 0 hours, he's 30 miles away. The next one is going to say state the x-intercept. So the x-intercept would be right here, which would be 2.50. Oops, comma 0. So after, well, 2.5 hours, he is 0 miles from home. So what we can say is it took 2.5 hours to go 30 miles. That's not what it's asking. So let's say it passes through 2,6 right here. Passes through 2,6. So that says after 2 hours, he is 6 miles from home. Find the slope. Well, the slope, our good points are our intercepts. So we're going to say 0, 30 and 2.50. So y2, which would be 0, minus y1, which is 30, over x2 minus x1. So we get negative 30 over 2.5, which would become negative 12. So interpret the slope as a rate of change. So 12 over 1. So for every hour, the miles from home decrease by 12 miles. How to interpret the slope? Well, the slope is just what's happening to y when x is doing something. Or if x is doing something, what's happening to y. So I'm going to stop this video here and start another one.